I have a ton of videos on this channel that talk through in detail what to do before, during, and after a real estate interview, but sometimes what you don't do is just as important as what you do. And in my experience, interviewing for roles myself and talking with companies that are looking to hire new talent, there are a few things that are really important to avoid saying during the interview process that can significantly reduce your chances of landing an offer. So to make sure that you are steering clear of these topics, in this video, we'll cover 3 of the biggest things that you'll want to avoid saying during the real estate interview process and what to say instead to stand out from your competition. So the first thing that you'll want to avoid saying during a commercial real estate interview is that you want this job because you ultimately want to be an entrepreneur. Hiring employees is extremely time-consuming and expensive for companies, and by telling an employer that you ultimately want to go out and build your own company, this is communicating to that employer that by hiring you, they'd be investing their time and money into what's very likely going to be a short-term solution that may even end up becoming their competition in the future. Now, this doesn't mean that you shouldn't be applying for jobs in the first place if you do have aspirations to start your own business, and this is actually one of the best ways to learn the industry before striking out on your own, but this is not information that you need to bring up voluntarily, and in most cases, talking about this is only going to hurt you in the interview process. So instead of talking about your entrepreneurial goals, what would come off much more favorably is highlighting your characteristics that make you entrepreneurial in the first place without saying the word entrepreneur. For example, if you want to start your own business, you're very likely going to be a self-starter, you can take ownership of projects, you're a skilled leader, and you can manage a team, and all of these things would be assets to an employer. Even if you know that you ultimately want to strike out on your own, think about how you could describe yourself as an entrepreneur within an established team. And if you can demonstrate these things through either past work experiences or even academic experiences, these things will all work to your advantage rather than to your detriment. Now, the second thing that you'll want to steer clear of within a real estate interview is telling a hiring manager that your long-term goal is to work in a different part of the business than you would be working in if offered the position. A pretty common question during the real estate interview process is something along the lines of, why do you want this job? And especially at the analyst level, a lot of candidates will answer this by explaining how they plan to use a position as a stepping stone to get into a different part of the industry altogether as soon as they can. And again, even if this is the case for you, employers do not want to hire someone that already has their sights set on something else, and companies are looking for candidates that have a reason to want the job, whether that's an interest in the specific job function, the use of a certain skill set that they have, or a core value or belief that aligns with the company directly. Now, this does not mean that you have to know with 100% certainty what you want to be doing forever in the first job that you take, or that an entry-level role needs to be exactly where you want to build your career long-term, but you should at least have some interest in the industry discipline or product type or investment strategy that the company uses and be ready to talk through what that interest is. The key here is to demonstrate your desire to grow long-term within the company and or the specific part of the industry that you'd be working in, rather than making it clear that this job is just a means to an end. Now, the last thing I want to mention in this video is really easy to do, especially if you are not happy in your current job, and this is talking negatively about a current or former employer. During the interview process, many hiring managers will ask a question along the lines of, why are you looking to leave your current position? And the best answers here say a lot more about what you're trying to move towards rather than all the things that are wrong with your current employer. Commercial real estate is a surprisingly small industry, and if you come into an interview saying negative things about a company that you're currently working for or another company within the industry, it's very likely that the person that's interviewing you has some sort of knowledge of or relationship with the companies that you're talking about directly. And by doing this is also communicating to an employer that you very well might do the same thing to them if things don't go your way internally, and this is also making it clear that you're unhappy in your current role. In most cases, employers tend to find candidates the most attractive when those candidates don't need a new job, and coming off as desperate or trying to get out of your current situation as quickly as possible gives you a lot less leverage during a negotiation. If you had a bad experience at a job, or if you're having a bad experience at your current job, instead of framing this negatively, or even worse, talking about specific people within the company that have been difficult to work with, this is an opportunity to shift the focus towards what you want to be transitioning into and why this specific job is a much better fit long term. So, for example, instead of talking about all the negative characteristics of your boss or how disorganized the company you're working for is, your answer to this question could mention your desire to work for a much bigger or smaller company, to focus on a different product type that your company isn't looking to pursue, or anything else that's really outside of your control and would require you to switch jobs to get that experience. Ultimately, managers want to hire doers, not complainers, not people that blame others, but people that are committed to taking action and taking personal responsibility for the outcomes within their organization. And the more your answers can center around what you want to move towards rather than what you're moving away from, the more success you're likely to see during the interview process. Now, like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, there's a lot more content on this channel that talks through what to do when preparing for a real estate interview, and I'll link some of our most popular videos on this subject in the description below, but I hope this is helpful to make sure that you're steering clear of these specific topics within these conversations as you're heading into interviews. And if you want to learn more about how to navigate through the commercial real estate job search successfully, or you want to make sure that you're prepared for an Excel modeling exam that might be given to you during the interview process, as always, make sure to check out our all-in-one membership training platform, Break Into CRE Academy. A membership to the Academy will give you instant access to over 120 hours of video training on real estate financial modeling and analysis. You'll get access to hundreds of practice Excel interview exam questions, sample acquisition case studies, and you'll also get access to the Break Into CRE Analyst Certification exam, which covers topics like real estate pro forma and development modeling, commercial real estate lease modeling, equity waterfall modeling, and many other real estate financial analysis concepts that will help you prove to employers that you have what it takes to tackle the responsibilities of an analyst or associate at a top real estate firm. And if you like this video and want to see more content on the channel on interview topics, make sure to hit the like button and let me know in the comments any other interview related topics that you'd like to see covered in more detail on the channel. As always, thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you found this helpful. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to see more videos like this every single week, and I'll see you in the next video.